Hey guys, like I said, I'm making some rounds. I got one more thing I want to do, and then probably take a little break from the YouTube thing altogether. But the question I want to ask is, does it matter as a Christian what you do? If you can go, if you have enough money to open a soup kitchen, and then another person only has a couple of dollars in their pocket, is it even worth the trouble? And I'm gonna say yes, it is. For you guys who feel like you can't make a difference, it feels like you can't affect the world around you, I'm going to tell you, you're wrong. No matter how broke, no matter how poverty stricken, the power of God doesn't need your money. It doesn't need any of that. Now, these may be tools, these may be things that come into play, but you do make a difference. And I think that's one of the worst things we do to ourselves and have other people do to us. If you're not part of group A or part of group B or this or that, you can't make a difference. That's just not true. If you take a look at two passages in the Bible, I'm just going to touch on briefly. Mark 12:41. And he sat down opposite the treasury and watched the people putting money into the offering box. Many rich people put in large sums, and a poor widow came up and put two small copper coins, which make a penny. And he called his disciples to him and said to them, "Truly I say to you, this poor widow has put more than all those who are contributing to the offering box. For they all contributed out of their abundance, but she, out of her poverty, has put everything she had, all she had to live on." That's passage number one. So we see if you have money, you give out of blessing. You give because you're blessed. If you're poor and you give out of faith. Why did Jesus even point this out? Why was it important for the disciples to see? And why did this story about this insignificant woman make it all through 2,000 years of history and is still with us today? Give out of what you have. Or, whether it's time, money, sharing a word, message, teaching, whatever it is, your gift, use that combined with what you have. Do something with your time, anything to get started. But this woman gave all she had, and two coins, two copper coins. And in other words, she gave what we would consider to be an insignificant amount. But to this woman, giving what she had to God in good faith to God was more important than the little coins that she did have. The other passage I want to touch on briefly is Mark 14, starting at verse 3. And while he was at Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, as he was reclining on the table, a woman came with an alabaster flask of ointment and pure nard, very costly, and she broke the flask and poured it over his head. There were some who said to themselves indignantly, think about this today. Why was the ointment wasted like that? For this ointment could have been sold for more than 300 denarii and given to the poor. And they scolded her, but Jesus said, leave her alone. Why do you trouble her? She has done a beautiful thing to me. For you always have the poor with you, and whenever you want, you can do good for them, but you will not always have me. She has done what she could. She has anointed my body beforehand for burial. And truly I say to you, wherever the gospel is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will be told in memory of her. So she didn't even know. She didn't even know what she was doing, how important it was. Anointing Jesus' body before burial. And that phrase, she did what she could. And I think that's what Jesus was getting at the time that she had, where she was, who she was with. instead of going out and trying to sell it and setting all these conditions and saying that she did the right thing, she took what she had and did what she could. And because of that, think about it. Another insignificant woman in the Bible, all she did was wash his hair. And here she is in our Bibles, 2,000 years plus later. Here she is. So don't think for a minute that there's nothing you can do, because there is. God makes things great. They don't have to be a certain size or fit into a certain category or impress a certain amount of people. The most powerful acts of faith are probably seen by next to no one. Just like these two women. This woman didn't even know Jesus was watching her. Mingled in between the rich people. Here she comes with her 2 little coins. To us, to man, worthless. But to God, it was everything. These were acts of faith. And these people, quite frankly, I don't think that the woman even knew what to do. She just knew she had this ointment and it was expensive, probably, and it smelled good, and she loved Jesus. So she did what she could. And she's been honored in this way, carried down. So don't think that you don't have the power to affect the world around you. A small kindness can change the act of a day for so many people, I'm sure. You know, you look at this problems we have with these shootings and all this stuff. I wonder sometimes if those kids would have came across someone that put a little light in their lives, if things would have turned out that way. I don't know. But how many times have things maybe been avoided because someone shed a little light in someone's life? Be that light. Be the change you want to see. We all know there's something wrong with the world. None of us are perfect. But be the change you want to see. You want to see the world change? It starts with us. It starts with us getting our act together, going out, and showing other people how to get their act together. So don't think you don't make a difference. Don't think you're anonymous and no one notices what's going on. Jesus sees, God sees. They see. And that is faith, isn't it? When you believe that in quiet in your closet, that the Father hears your prayers and sees your works. He can make great things out of your works. All you need to do is cast your hand in the wind in that direction and let it go. God will do the rest. God can do great things with what we consider to be very small and insignificant things. 2 women in the Bible remembered. As long as this book is in print and exists, if we have Bibles in the world to come, they will be in them forever. Think about that. That little thing can make all the difference in the world to somebody. So be great, even if you're poor. Even if you're not swift of tongue and sharp of mind, you have a gift. Everyone has a gift. Usually several. Use them. Make a difference. God will make the impact. God bless you.